Welcome to another Secret Influence TV interview. I'm Nick Ronald and I'm the founder of Secret Influence TV. It's a YouTube channel to share tips on how to be a better influencer. So I believe influencing is one of the most important skills in life. If you want to have a better career, you've got to influence your boss to give a promotion. If you want to get a job, you've got to influence the interviewers. And in business, if you can't influence the people to follow you, to engage with you, and to effectively buy a product or service, you're not going to be in business for long. Life is always about influencing people positively in everything you do. So I interview people who inspire or influence others. And this could be authors, entrepreneurs, speakers, business people, a range of people who have a powerful message, story to tell, expertise to share. So today I'm very excited to be talking to Sarah Higgs, and I'll explain how I met Sarah and a little bit about what she does, and then we will sort of start the interview. So welcome, Sarah. Welcome to Secret Influence.
Thank you for having me, Nick. I'm excited to be here.
Great. So I met Sarah sort of 5 years ago when we were in the same business, and we were both Usborne Booksellers. So Sarah is the founder, the executive leader, an entrepreneur, and she works as an Usborne book at home seller. So I guess I'd explain a bit about that in a minute. So we both met at an event, which was a training event for people who were working as Usborne booksellers, and we connected. I was very impressed with how successful Sarah was, what she was doing, and her approach to building an audience, engaging with people, and sort of turning customers into fans. So, Sarah, just before we sort of dive into the interview, a couple of sort of more light-hearted, quick-fire questions. What's your favourite book author?
My favourite book author.
Do you read much? I mean, do you read much as a bookseller? I know you said it's children books, but do you read?
Yeah,
do you read much
so as a child, Roald Dahl would have been, and Enid Blyton would have been my absolutely favourite.
Okay.
Escapism into them. As an adult, I do read a lot, but I tend to read either the books that I sell, so sort of young adult books, just to get the brand better, or self-development ones. So I'm going to go with, it's so tough. Simon Sinek, I think, is one of my favourite authors, because just for the work he does on leadership and that Start With Why and the clarity around that, I think it's incredible, some of his books. Leaders Eat Last is one of my favourite books to read.
I love Simon Sinek. I watched one of his TED Talks on YouTube the other day about the circle of influence. So yeah, I often quote him a lot of my
He's such a genuine, down-to-earth guy as well. He doesn't have any pretense, or he's not, arrogant in any way, or look, I'm better than anyone else. It's just, look, this is how it is, and I'm passing that information on to you, and I think that's great.
No, definitely, 100% agree there. Do you have a favourite quote? Or do you have someone who sort of inspires you in life? Either a favourite quote or someone sort of inspires you?
Favourite quote, and I don't know who to attribute it to actually, is action comes before motivation. I think when I heard that, it was a massive eye-opener for me. I think so many people sit around going, oh, I'll get around to that when I'm in the mood to get around to it.
Sure.
I'll start on that when I'm motivated to start for it. And actually, your motivation comes when you actually just get off your backside and start doing something. And so that for me is favourite. Okay,
action before motivation.
Action comes before motivation.
I love it. I love quotes which are easy to remember and easy to understand. I think they're most powerful. They're always they're the ones that resonate with me the best. So summer or winter? Are you a summer person or winter person?
Summer. I have a pony, Nick. Summer is definitely preferred. The winter is hard work.
Have you managed to, has it been affected by the COVID, or you haven't had to wear a mask?
So we have to wear a mask at the yard in some areas. The pony that I own is actually my daughter's, so I can't ride him. She can still ride, that's absolutely fine. But my lessons that I was having have had to stop during COVID, so I don't get to ride anymore. But, it will come back, won't it?
It will come back, that's it. Last of these quick-fire questions: vacation or staycation? Do you like to travel?
Vacation, hands down. I want to travel everywhere. I'm itching to get back on a plane at the moment.
Okay, me too. Can't wait. So now on to our sort of interview. So you're your company is called Sarah Higgs,
There is a bookshop.
bookshop, sorry.
Yeah.
So just to briefly start off, what is your, what does your business do? What is Usborne Booksellers?
So the main function is to get books into the hands of children. As you say, they're children's books, go from birth to adults, and mainly it's getting the books out there. At the moment, there's such a big focus on homeschooling, trying to get topic books, educational books out there. And then we work along schools and nurseries as well to help them to get books either just as an order or without using their budget as well. We help work with them with fundraisers and things like that. So just getting books into the hands of children. I think reading is such an important skill. So to be able to help as many children as possible to have them in their lives is an absolute winner.
And so I know you've got, is it 4 children?
I have got 4 children.
Do they like books? Do they
do.
Better sample your books?
Yeah, no. So my eldest, he's now he'll be 15 in April. Doesn't read as much as he used to, but from the age of 10 to sort of 13, he literally devoured books. So he would go through one like in 2 days. Wow. But it meant he was like my top seller. So if I took him to like a parents' evening or something like that, every fiction book that we had, he'd be able to go, oh no, if you like that, you want this one. If you like this one, this is that. It was brilliant.
That's what you need, little brand ambassador.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what aspect of your work do you do the most? Because I think with something like bookselling, when I did it, I was an Usborne bookseller for a few years, and what I loved about it was that I love books. I'm passionate about them. I'm a copywriter, so I'm writing all the time and I'm reading all the time. I love books, and also for me, I had my 5-year-old, 3-year-old son at the time, so it's an opportunity to spend time with him, attending events. It worked really well. What aspect of your work do you enjoy the most? What's really?
See, the bit I enjoy the most, and I love getting out with the books, and I love that the family time you get to do that. But for me, it's the helping others. So as well as selling books, we get to help other people start their book businesses. As you know, you're part of the team. And I love the transformation from seeing someone come into this nervous, not sure what they're doing, never run a business before, don't know where to start, haven't got that confidence, and then a few months down the line being able to go, oh, I've got this, I understand what I'm doing, I'm starting to change my life, I've got this income coming in now. And for me, I think that's the beauty. I love the books, I love getting them out to children, but seeing a parent, a mum, a dad, or someone come in and then being able to transform their life with it, that's the real beauty for me.
Because that's a two sort of different aspects to the business model of some books. It's selling the books obviously to people. There's a selling of a product, the book, but also you're developing the team and supporting and mentoring other people who are starting out and become booksellers themselves. And to be successful, you need to obviously do both those different aspects. And I think that's some of the things I want to chat to you about.
Yeah, I think to truly leverage it, you want to be doing both, don't you? And you can have a great business just from selling and working in schools, but to really, really benefit you and leverage your time, by helping others and getting those people underneath you as well. It's just brilliant.
Do you think business is about relationships? Effectively good at business, you've got to be good at building relationships. I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, it's about relationships and it's about communication as well. Okay. So I think that the bigger in size you become, the harder it becomes to communicate to everyone sort of your ethos, your being, how you work, because you get more distance from your people. So it's about positively reinforcing that communication so that everyone understands that you're all on the same page, understands you're all working together, and you want to have a great relationship with those people. I'm all about transparency, so I don't ever want anyone to feel like I'm hiding anything or doing anything that I'm not telling them about. So for me, people see all of me, warts and all, good day, bad day, whatever, because I want them to have that trust and understanding that I think we grow up in a world where we see success and we see successful people and we feel like we're led to believe that they've always had it together. Sure. They've always known what they're doing. They've got this great big plan in place and that they're following it. And actually, when you become successful, you realize everybody's winging it. Everybody still has down days. Everyone still has doubts. Everyone still has moments of going, what the hell am I doing? Or what have I created? And I think it's important to show people that from the start, really, and go, do you know what? Everyone is the same, which means everyone can do it. It's not like a special thing for people who have this little skill set over here.
No, I agree. I think people, if we can feel empathy of someone, if we can feel that they're human, then we're more likely to connect with them. And I think sometimes, people we see who we think they're living world apart, they're another lifestyle, it's hard to connect. But people, you see, well, they are human. And I think I read Richard Branson's autobiography recently, and he said that people see him as a super successful person, but they don't realise that for every business he's made a success, he's had 10 businesses he started and failed and lost. He's lost more money than he's made. So it's quite interesting. We only see certain aspects of business.
Yeah, no, I've been privileged to see Richard Branson speak once, and again,
Wow.
just such a down to earth guy. And yeah, he has had success, but equally so many failures. And every successful person has. If you look underneath, there are failures along the way that have just made them stronger, and they've learned and grown from them.
And with the Booksellings, when I was doing my work as a Usborne bookseller, and I was selling it mostly local events. But I know you have quite far reach. Do you think, with obviously with COVID, it's all sped it up. Everything's gone online more than ever. But have you managed to use social media now to leverage a wider audience across the UK?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, when I first started, I got pregnant with my fourth child literally 2 weeks after I joined. Okay. So I did the whole thing with 3 children and pregnancy, and actually getting out to events and things like that was actually just really quite difficult. I was working in a part-time job as well, doing sales and marketing for a local company. So it wasn't really going to work for me to build it up into an income that I wanted just by going out to events. And it was hard work being pregnant, trying to carry boxes of books. So I hit social media as a different way of doing it. And actually in the industry, not many people were doing it back then. And a lot of people were saying to me, why what are you doing? Like, this isn't gonna work. You can't do it that way. But you can. The beautiful thing about the internet is billions of people are on it who are your demographic and target market. And if you can just learn how to put your message in front of those people, you don't ever have to leave your home. No,
it's true. That's true. I think that's one biggest thing which we found, certainly the last year, is that people thought they had to go to an office to work, and we actually find out, that not everyone, but more people than ever can actually have that flexibility to work from home. It's going to have a lasting impact on the way we do work.
Yeah, there's going to be.
Sorry. I was just going to say, on the social media aspect, so I just looked at your Sarah's book page on Facebook, and you've got nearly 10,000 people who like your page, and you've got, you do have really good engagement. What do you have any tips for how to build up a following on Facebook and build up engagement, sort of?
Yeah, it's add value.
Okay.
It all comes down to adding value to people. You've got to give the people what they want, and you will see this when you put posts out on a business page or a YouTube channel or anything like that. If there's value in it, people will interact with it. It will get more and more reach and more seen. If there's no value in it at all and there's nothing for your consumers, it's just going to pass them by. So I think it's really, really key to show them who you are. Show them yourself, who you are, what you're about, what your ethos is about. Not everyone's going to like you, not everyone's going to be your people, but if you are authentic to yourself, you will find the people who resonate with you and who do like you and want to buy from you. So in the early days, I think when you first get going with social media, it's about trying lots of different things, and you won't get much reach and you won't get much engagement because it takes time to build that following. And I think so many people start and they go, I've put all these hours into this and I'm not getting anywhere. This isn't work for me. I'm going to go do a different way. Sure. And it's not about that with social media. It's the consistency of it, and just doing the things that get you extra reach. Live videos get seen more. Video gets seen more than posts. But they might not get the same interaction. So it's mixing it up and listening to your customers and consumers and taking on their opinions as well, putting questions out to them. What is it you want me to give you on this page? Okay, so the biggest tip there is about giving value, or knowing your client and knowing your customer, knowing your audience and giving value. Yeah, feel a need for people. Every business is there because it feels a need for people. So in my case, people needing books for homeschool, they're needing books to help children for read, they're needing books to I don't know, get their child off a screen,
Sure.
or someone's got a child who's stressed. So it's you know, using what you have to offer to answer those questions or fill those needs or pain points that people are having.
So with your the way you use social media, do you plan ahead? So for example, I guess, you know, you tie into different events and you've got, you know, you maybe do posts for different types of parents, or are you quite good at, do you have to schedule your in advance, or more sort of...
I should be better at it, if I'm honest.
Sure.
Yes, there are certain things in certain seasons. Obviously, in the run up to Christmas, it will start to be pushing on to Christmas books. There's Easter, there's summer, there's books that help with traveling, going back to school. So yeah, there is some plan of action in there, but I'm quite a spontaneous person. So it's more like, oh, okay, this is a current affair that's people are, or something's happening now. I'm going to react and put stuff out on my page to deal with that.
Okay. And look, in the last year, you know, it has been a challenging year. What's been the biggest challenge for your business? You know, how have you had to adapt?
So probably the biggest challenge is adapting with schools, to be fair. It was crazy. So when that announcement from Boris came out that all the schools were going to shut, everyone went into panic mode of what happens to our business. And there was about a 24-hour period where we're like, will the warehouse shut? Because if that shuts, that's it. Business is basically gone. But obviously warehouses were able to continue to work. So I remember I sat there on that day and I literally didn't move from my laptop from the entire day and next day, where I literally rewrote all of our processes of what can we do, what we normally do offline, how can we move that online? This is all the areas that we can do online. This is what we can still do. So I feel like my role was to as you say, I influence quite a lot of people. Quite a few of my customers are now part of my team, and I have a lot of people that I have to look after. So that was to, you know, reassure everybody really that it was going to be okay, that we could still work and we could still have an income coming in. But schools have been probably the most trickiest with that, because it's been such a difficult time for teachers as well. They are so stretched between children in school for key workers, trying to educate children who are at home, so trying to, you know, help them get books in. They want them, but they're so stretched with their time. So that's probably been the biggest challenge.
Okay. And earlier we said, you know, said one of your parts of your job is to support and perhaps mentor your team. So two questions on that. How do you sort of, you know, how do you keep your team motivated? And also, how do you communicate with them, you know, again, through social media, or were you meeting with them physically, or, you know, how do you manage, you know, with the time to set up your business, how do you manage your team and how do you motivate them?
Okay, so motivation is, again, it's listening to what they want and their needs. So again, adding value, as same as I want to add value to my customers on my page, I want to add value to my team in our team group as well. What is it they're looking for? What do they need help with? We've been doing sort of a daily challenges at the moment with people as well, to try and give them ideas on what to do. We train on so much, and we do things like this as well. I've had people being interviewed this week on how they've had success. So there's so much we do for motivation. And then try and make it fun as well, that we have sometimes, which is just a silly social gathering, or like a silly, you know, share a GIF on this thing to try, you know, the world is hard at the moment for a lot of people. So trying to add a little bit of relief. It's, you know, it's not, the team group is not a place to be 100% professional all the time and work. It has to have a balance in there. And in terms of communication, as I said, this is the greater the size, the struggle it is to have all that information passed down. So it's casting your net wide, to be honest. So we have obviously we have a Facebook team group where everybody is in. I send out email campaigns to everybody in the team as well. We have a WhatsApp broadcast, so I can send out a WhatsApp to them. They have access to a website with trainings and things on as well, and files. So it's everything is sort of there, and just trying to catch people in different places, or drip feed that information and reminders into them, because everybody's so busy right now that it's just trying, with
the offering value, which you mentioned a few times. Do you think it's really important then to know your audience, so whether it's your customer or whether it's the people you support in your team, because only then by knowing them you can offer the value that they need.
Yeah, I think it's really important, not just through business, not just through customers or team, but in life, just to listen. Listen to, because people will tell you so much with their body language, with what they're saying in between their words. Actually, if you just stand back and listen to what's going on, it allows you to step in and actually give people what they want rather than what you think they want, and that's a really dangerous position to be in. If you make assumptions about your customers, you may have them completely wrong. Again, where it's quite good to look at your insights on social media as well, because you may have an assumption that your demographic are going to be online looking at your content on this type of time, and actually if you go into your insights and go, well, actually my demographic's completely different to what I thought it was, and it's, don't think you know all the answers. No. Actually listen and find them out.
Yeah, I think they said there's a saying about assumption is the enemy of success, because the moment you start assuming things, then that's when things go wrong. So my next question is, you said when you started, you didn't want to, you didn't know, social media is quite new, and you didn't quite know how the best way to maximize your marketing and channels. So you must have learned over the years, obviously, all the time. Are you always learning? Is that something that's important? And how do you learn?
Learning.
Do you do a online training, or how do you keep up to date with all the
so many different things? I love to learn. In fact, I've been reading blog posts this morning on YouTube. Actually, I'm doing a lot more work on YouTube at the moment, on ranking videos and this type of stuff. And if I'm not learning, I'm not progressing, and it feeds me. It's one of my core values that I have to be growing and feeling like I'm always doing better, so always improving. I don't think anybody's ever perfect in this world, but we can always keep improving. And if someone else can do something, that means I can do it as well. So if someone else has figured out how to make something successful on social media, that means that I can do it as well. If someone else can have 100k followers, then I can have 100k followers. I just need to figure out what it is that needs to be put in place to make that happen. I read self-development books. I have a coach at the moment as well who I work with. I pay people to do some stuff for me, but I will learn from them through that process as well. So any avenue that I can consume information, I absolutely will.
And just back to the sort of the thing about customer loyalty. What proportion of your customers are repeat? Are new customers good, repeat customers? Are most of your customers? Do you have a sort of a base of customers who you sell books to regularly, or is it more of a continually finding new people?
It's a bit of both. I do have those that come back time and time again, and you see the same names, the same followers, and the people who will come up and comment and stuff and get involved with stuff. But I make a point of always trying to reach outside my current net, so to speak, as well. So we bring in and filtering new people in to bring in those new customers and new fans at the same time, because it's like a leaky bucket, isn't it? You'd always get some that are moving away or going off to do something else, and you want to always continue to be bringing new people into that.
Okay. And I know you've got 4 children. How do you manage 4 children, family life and your work life? See in the office now, any tips for people? A lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, the work. Time management is one of the biggest challenges. How do you do it? Any tips?
See, being in the office is great now, because I've managed to come over here, no children around, peace and quiet, and I can do this, which is brilliant. It's obviously not like this all the time. It wasn't like this in the past. I had this conversation in an interview last night, actually. It's one of those things. I think as a mother or a father, when you're running a business, you're in charge of the children and everything else, it's like you're juggling balls. And at some point, you're going to drop one of those balls. And it's fine to drop a ball for a small amount of time, as long as you go down and pick it back up and drop a different one for a little bit. And so there will be times that I will be so focused on business, and my children understand that now. They're at the point where I can go, look, mummy just has to do this, and it's going to be a week when mummy's not around very much. And then other times it would be, do you know what, work needs to be put aside for a bit, and we're going on holiday and we're having family time. And it's that constant balance. And actually, I'm really pleased now. There was a long time I think I probably had guilt about being away from my children, or they're seeing me with my phone in my hand a lot. And actually now the older ones are teenagers. I've seen the positive effect that's had on them. My 13-year-old daughter has her own photography business now. She will use social media channels for her own advantage. She has a brilliant Instagram account for her photography. And, actually they're stepping up into humans who, understand the value of hard work, understand that actually you can have a really good lifestyle if you're willing to put those hours in and to do that. So yeah, it is a balance, and there's going to be days that you feel like you've completely got it wrong, and you just go to bed in tears, going, "Oh my God, I can't do this anymore." That's part of business. Like, it's absolutely part of it.
Exactly. No, always. I mean, yeah. I mean, any business, it's always going to be juggling time. It's always going to be pressure. It's always going to be hard. But I'm interested by that point you said about your children, some of your children being sort of entrepreneurial. Would you be happy? Would you be happy? Would you encourage them to be, if they had entrepreneurial ideas, you encourage them? Because I know some parents want the kids to get a job, or it's a safe, secure job. But would you encourage them to do it down the entrepreneurial line
No, I'd encourage them to do whatever makes them happy, really. And if that's something they can make a business out. Don't get me wrong, I want them to get their education and things alongside that as well. But my daughter, for instance, is doing a photography GCSE, a media studies GCSE, a business studies GCSE. So actually a lot of the tools that she's getting under her belt right now are that one day she probably want to be self-employed. And that's absolutely fine. I think, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you understand that it is going to be hard work. Sure. It's not just, you don't just sit around and your business runs itself. You can get to a point where you've stepped back and someone else is in charge of your business. That is the reward of it. But there's going to be blood, sweat and tears along the way for that.
The next question is the mindset versus skill set. You can learn skills.
80-20.
Is it
80-20?
Okay.
80% mindset, 20% skill set, every single time.
Interesting. Okay. And also on that, related to that, do you think, how important is it, do you think, creativity is important? So, there's different types of, people have different skills, people have different mindsets, and obviously I agree with you, 80% of the success is mindset. How skilled you are if you haven't got the right mindset.
Yeah, hard work will outperform natural talent every single time.
Okay.
Creativity is a funny one for me, because I would have said a few years ago that I'm not creative at all, in terms of that I'm, pick up a pen and try and draw something, absolutely disastrous. Try and design like a poster or something, absolutely falls flat on its face. I don't have that skill.
Okay.
I'm probably quite creative in my thinking or my way of working around things.
Okay.
And I think that's something I need to, recognize in myself more, that actually I do have a bit of a creative brain, but not in what we, the first thing that comes into our head when we say the word creative. Is it important? I guess a little bit. It's more having the confidence to explore your creativity. If you've got an idea that maybe hasn't been done before, just roll with it.
Yeah.
See what happens. It might be a terrible idea, but unless you try it, you don't know. And it might be the thing that actually makes you stand out and takes you to a greater level. And that, again, that's that mindset comes back to it though, isn't it? Having the mindset to just being able to give it a go and realize failure is part of the process.
No, that's
true. It's not the end of it.
It's like, I think they're saying everything's impossible until it's been done once. So, talk about one person tries it and does it, and then it sets a benchmark. So looking ahead, I mean, we don't know what's exactly going to happen with the COVID and restrictions, lockdown, but, do you have any plans business-wise, new direction, or, is it to grow a team? Is it, is it to, I don't know if lockdown finishes, take your family aboard, but do you have any plans business-wise of it next year? Any sort of?
The plan is great. So for I'm in a very privileged position that actually, even though despite lockdown, we still had growth last year quite significantly. That started the same this year. We've just had our biggest ever January. So yeah, I've got quite big plans for growth next year. Excellent.
And the other question was how do you keep yourself motivated?
Clarity of direction.
Okay.
I think it's key for me. If you know while you're working every day, if you've got that big dream, that big idea, or you know where you're going, it's so much easier to get up every day and go to work, even if you're having a down day. And I think this is where people who are self-employed come unstuck all the time, because you're your own boss. You set your own time. So if you wake up, I don't know, with backache or something like that, and you just go, oh God, I'm not feeling it today. I don't know why I'm not feeling it. I'll work later. I'll do this later. And I think you can fall into that trap of procrastination, putting it off, because you have that flexibility. But if you are so clear on what you want to achieve, because you know that lifestyle it's going to give you, you know what's at the other end of it. And some of it is that belief and faith. If you haven't got there yet,
Sure.
like it's difficult to know. Like I'm privileged, as I say, to be in a point that my business has become a success, that I've got that income now.
Sure.
And like, you know, that's much easier for me to get up to go to work every day, living that lifestyle, than it was 5 years ago when I had nothing and had to just get up every single day and graft on it. But yeah, if you can be really clear in your mind of what it is you're working for, that will really keep you motivated.
A quick question. What before you, how long you been doing your Usborne Bookselling?
6 and a bit years.
Okay. What were you doing before that?
When I joined, I was working doing freelance marketing and sales for a local company. But before that, talking of failure, I had a business that I franchised out, which was selling secondhand baby and children's items. So I franchised it into 3 local areas, and it went down a completely different direction to where I was sort of hoping it would go. And I felt like I was putting all my time and energy into it for very little reward. So it got to the point that I decided that business had to go. So
did you learn lessons from that? You know,
oh my gosh, so many
lessons with your next,
the
next business.
Yeah, I think you're always learning lessons of everything you do. I've made mistakes in every business and everything that I've been part of, because as you said, you just have to try things, and some of them are going to fall flat on their face. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot for social media. Actually learned that, you know, social media numbers are really funny as well. So if you've got an event or something like that on Facebook or on the social media, so many people say they're going to it, but only a very small percentage of people have actually turned up for it. And it's learning those lessons of actually how to judge what your actual engagement is going to be, what your actual numbers are going to be, how to get in front of people. Even when you've got something of value and a great offer for people, you still have to find a way to get them to actually see it before they're going to interact in it. So yeah, I learned a lot.
Excellent. Yeah, because like I said earlier, it's always a learning process. You know, we're always improving and learning. I do Toastmasters, practice my public speaking skills, and we say it's only by feedback and practice we learn, continually feedback and practice. So Sarah, it feels so relaxed chatting to you. I could chat all day, but we have to come towards the end of our interview. So just to say that if you like this channel, if you enjoy this interview, do subscribe. There's more interviews planned with more people who inspire and influence. And I'm sure that if you've listened to this recording, that you will be able to resonate with what something Sarah said about importance of staying motivated, doing what you're passionate about, planning, being organized, going for it and taking action. And the more important thing is, if we do have a business, we want to be able to turn our customers into fans by engaging them properly. Because we want our customers, to our brand ambassadors, to come back and buy from us and tell other people how good our business is. So, Sarah, my last thing I always ask people is there any final tips, if there's for any sort of perhaps people who are starting out as an entrepreneur, and to avoid overwhelm, or is there any sort of tips?
I think the biggest thing for someone starting out is to back your own corner. I think you've got to be able to back your own corner. There's going to be people, well-meaning friends, or people who say like, "Oh, why are you doing that? I don't know if that's the right thing for you." And it comes from a place of love and concern. But actually, they're the people you need to. If you've got that burning desire in your gut that you want to be self-employed, that you've got a business idea that is going to work, and you can see it in your head and how it's going to unfold, run with it. Don't look back. Give it your all, and just dive straight in.
Fantastic tips there. If people wanted to get in touch with you, Sarah, I'll share links below, but what's the best way if someone wanted to reach out?
Yeah, so if you're watching us on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, Sarah's Bookshop, so you can pop over to that. Sarah's Bookshop on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that really. Just get it. Or sarah-higgs.co.uk is my website. You can pop over there and find all sorts of information.
Excellent. So just to finish up, if you want to get in touch with Sarah, I will share the links. And if you're interested in the book selling business, or just by hearing talked about small business and entrepreneurs, I know she'd be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, and you know, any questions you have about anything, you know, my DMs are open. Just slide into them. That's absolutely fine.
Thank you, Sarah. So thank you very much for your time, Sarah. And it's great to catch up, and there's so much value and tips. I really appreciate you sharing those. You do definitely fit the criteria of having expertise to share, and also being an influencer and someone who's inspirational. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me, Nick. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Okay.